In the A Song of Ice and Fire novels, giants have a drastically different, more ape-like appearance. They tend to be about twice as large as a very tall human, about 12 to 14 feet in height, but not monstrously huge. A single giant is as strong as a dozen humans. They generally resemble descriptions of the Sasquatch or Bigfoot or even the Yeti. They wear no clothing but instead are covered in shaggy fur pelts which are thicker below the waist. The fur of older giants becomes gray and streaked with white. Their heads are thrust forward from their shoulder blades, but they have very short necks. They have squashed-in faces with square teeth and tiny eyes amidst folds of flesh. Their eyesight is poor and they snuffle constantly, smelling as much as they see. The female giants look similar to the males. Giants are generally not considered to be as intelligent as the average human, though they are sapient and capable of speech. They speak the old tongue of the first men. The giants do not have much in the way of advanced society or culture, barely possessing the most primitive Stone Age technology. They make and wear no clothing, because their pelts adequately provide all the protection they need. They do not generally possess technology more advanced than simply grabbing a large tree log and wielding it as a club. Some of them, however, are smart enough to tie large stone boulders to the end of the tree logs to make crude mauls. On a few occasions, these are even sharpened to form basic stone axes. The giants ride huge mammoths as their steeds. The giants possess little if any large-scale political structure. They do not have kings, though particularly large, old, and experienced giants who are veteran warriors often seem to act as basic chieftains or warband leaders. A particularly large silverback giant named Magmartun Do Weg is the prominent ringleader of the giants in Mance Rayder's army. The giants inhabit the far northern regions of the lands beyond the wall, where humans will not encroach on them, perilously close to the land of always winter. They once roamed all of Westeros, but were pushed further and further north when the first men migrated to the continent, starting 12,000 years ago. In the present day they are almost extinct, even beyond the wall. By the time Mance Rayder unified all of the wildlings, there were only a few hundred giants remaining. Giants are considered entirely mythical south of the wall. Jon Snow recalls that in the nursery stories and fables old Nan used to tell, giants were basically just big people, who lived in big castles, dressed in armor like knights, and were ruled by lords and ladies. Jon is surprised when he discovers that giants survive north of the wall, not simply due to their existence, but because they do not match the legends he has heard, but are far more grounded and crude. This matches author George R.R. Martin's intent with the A Song of Ice and Fire series to deconstruct the literary tropes of high fantasy literature, in which numerous different non-human races such as dwarves or elves are actively involved in the world. Instead, non-human races are so rare in Westeros that they are commonly thought to be just the stuff of legends. However, even when Martin actually does start introducing non-human races with the giants, they are much more realistic and dirty than the kind of fantasy tropes that even Jon Snow was expecting. Jon sums up his assessment of the giants by noting that they actually kind of remind him of Hodor, the mentally challenged and incredibly tall stable boy at Winterfell. Rather, Jon notes, giants are about twice as tall as Hodor and about half as intelligent, though unlike Hodor they can speak a full language. There are rumors that giants eat human flesh. Old Nan used to tell stories about giants who mixed blood into their morning porridge and devoured whole bulls. At least one giant Wun does not fit those horror stories. Along with some wildlings, Wun is discovered by Jon Snow when he leads new recruits to the Weirwood Grove in the Haunted Forest. With the help of some diplomacy by the new wildling recruit Leathers, they avoid a fight and manage to convince the wildlings and the giant to return with them to Castle Black. In the A Song of Ice and Fire novels, Wun does not take part in the battle at Hardhome. It is unknown if he ever was there at all. Shortly after Jon announces he intends to travel to Winterfell and kill Ramsay Bolton, he hears a commotion at Hardin's Tower. He rushes there and sees Wun smashing the head of a knight named Sir Patrick of King's Mountain. Jon commands the gathering people to keep back and put away their weapons and tries to calm the giant down. It is then that John is attacked and stabbed by his own men. 1-1 smashing Sir Patrick against the wall is incorporated into the series in Season 6, when the wildlings, 1-1, and Edison Tollet take back Castle Black from Alistair Thorne's mutineers. One foolish man shoots the giant in the back with a crossbow, and in retaliation 1-1 grabs him by the leg and whips him into the wall, just as he did to Sir Patrick in A Dance with Dragons. 1-1's name is an in-joke by George R.R. Martin, an avid American football fan. Martin named him after Phil Simms, quarterback for the New York Giants, whose jersey number was #11, 1-1, or 1-1. 1-1 killed Sir Patrick is due to a bet George R.R. Martin made with his friend Patrick St. Dennis. When the Giants defeated the Dallas Cowboys in the game on which the friends were wagering, George wrote the killing of Sir Patrick by 1-1 into A Dance with Dragons.